We are a people that love our nature. We are completely integrated and embedded nature with our culture. That's how we live. And there's a wonderful saying that one of my friends told me back in time. He says, the true currency in Greenland is not money, it's knowledge. Because that's how you survive when you're that far north. And that really highlights who we are as a people. So my saying is, we are not for sale, but we're definitely open for exploring.
大家好，欢迎进到地缘经济学的教室。今天这堂课我们要讲的是格陵兰。2026年的开年，整个国际社会真的非常热闹，主要还是因为川普啦。他先是以迅雷不及掩耳的速度抓了委内瑞拉总统马杜罗，接下来呢，格陵兰就浮出了台面。川普从他自己到美国副总统范斯、国务卿卢比欧，甚至是连幕僚长的妻子，都可以对格陵兰指指点点，威胁并吞。一下要买，一下不排除动武，一下又说要用租的。这些美国人到底有没有问过格陵兰人的意见啊？有钱有武器就能说了算吗？所以今天我们的节目就找到了住在格陵兰首府努克的28岁创业家 Casper， 他也是格陵兰上的原住民因纽特人哦。那他到底想不想当美国人呢？我们就赶快来听他怎么说吧。面对美国强势的并吞野心，欧洲国家的反应也非常迅速。丹麦和其他北约欧洲国家派兵到格陵兰军演，尽管在人数上象征意义大于实质威吓，但这种军事对峙的紧张感是格陵兰历史上前所未见的。在格陵兰土生土长的 Casper 认为呢，发生战争的几率可能不高，但美国对于格陵兰的控制权势在必得的样子，当地人满头问号，我家不是你家，真的不要这么理所当然。
Yeah, the entire situation in Greenland with the overall interest from the international world and especially US, of course, creates some kind of worriedness and concerns about the Greenlandic future. Of course, we as a people, we want to be the masters of our own house. We want to be in control of where we grew up because this is our home. And when someone goes out and talk about taking over your country or buying it as a commodity, of course you feel someone is stepping over your toes. So of course we see this as a threat, we see this as an insult. Again, it's a really difficult time right now to kind of describe your feelings because currently we don't know what the future is going to bring for us. So it's really a time of uncertainty. 1 year ago, basically no one in the world knew about Greenland. It was some country in the far, far north and that the majority never visited. Then Trump, he came out with the first statement talking about Greenland as something to be bought. And the first response from us and us for Greenlanders is we're not for sale, but people are welcome to come and explore. And at that time, it was really put on the world map. And me as a tourism company owner, we saw a dramatic increase in the international interests in Greenland. So we saw a spike. We saw more people coming. We saw the revenue. We saw it with the general interest, the possibility of kind of scaling your operations, your company, financial opportunities. So a lot of things happened. And at that point, it really highlighted, let's say, the kind of issues that were aligned between Denmark and Greenland, because we have some prehistoric relations that have been tough to handle. But again, with the interest in Greenland, it kind of highlighted the prehistoric events that we wanted to kind of find a solution to. So Greenland, to a certain extent, became a bit divided because there was some part of Greenland that wanted to be independent now, and there's one part that wants to push it for the future. And then some parts of Greenland saw an opportunity to partner up with the US to get economic support, kind of really getting everything financed and pushing through independency really fast. Another part were like, okay, we need a financial, realistic approach. We need still the support of Denmark, and it was those with that view that ended up winning the election for Democratic, and they're a bit more there for independence, but at a slower pace. So Greenland in itself became a bit polarized, only a little bit. And then a lot of debates have been up and running for the last year. And then when we reached the beginning of 2026, we saw the statement again by Trump. And I think this probably had a negative effect on his campaign because this time the threats were so severe that it's not only about talking about Greenland and getting the interests. This time it was way more serious because of what we saw in Venezuela. There was some power behind the words, and instead of it kind of feeding the polarized country, like polarized Greenland, that could support his claim on Greenland kind of vanished away, because right now it's way more about the unification of Greenlanders, because now we see that Trump is not only here for the military position, because he has free movability with the American forces. Again, he's a NATO ally. He has free movability. He can apply as many battleships, troops, whatever he wants, because he's a NATO ally. So for us, it starts to become a real threat when he starts indirectly looking at the rare earth minerals, when he starts looking at the shipping routes for the future that's going to open up with the rapid pace of climate change. So we kind of see, let's say, a challenge of being the masters of our own house.
Do you think the European army can protect Greenland from the United States?
My personal opinion is that we're not going to see an open warfare between the EU/Denmark, Greenland against the US. I think what we're seeing right now is a symbolic act to really show that we are not to be taken. We are here to protect ourselves, and the EU countries are helping each other out, and that's exactly what we've been seeing the past 2 days. Military troops being forced from the EU. We see especially a Danish military presence at the moment. So again, a lot of thoughts and a lot of actions are being put in to show the US we are not to be taken. I believe in independence one day, and I think it's quite important to distinguish the definition of independence as it is right now. For a very long time, we've been working on a cultural independence, and I think that's really moving forward. We're being seen as a cultural independent people. We have our own norms and values. But again, then there is the second part, and that is the economic independence. Currently, we give 5 billion Danish crowns each year in a block grant, and that is supporting the Greenlandic economy immensely. And this basically means that you remove the Danish block grant, the Greenlandic economy wouldn't survive. That's a matter of fact. So for us to be able to have an independent economy, we would need new collaborators, we would need new partnerships, new allies within different countries. But it takes time. And for us to find those 5 billion Danish crowns each year, also with the labor force, we're only 56,000 people. It takes time. And I think if we work together, and if people are open for world peace, and we can negotiate and have partners all over the world, yes, I think that will be an opportunity. And me, myself, I of course have a big belief that tourism is one of those pillars that can really lift the Greenlandic economy, because who are the very best at showing off Greenland? It is us as a people.
格陵兰的资源让大国垂涎三尺，除了战略地位，这里拥有全世界最大的淡水量。随着气候变迁，冰层快速融化，埋藏在地底的稀土和矿产变得更容易开采。更重要的是，北极航道的开启，将缩短亚洲和欧洲之间的航程。谁能控制格陵兰，谁就能掌握未来的全球贸易命脉。这也是为什么俄罗斯和中国就算没有公开威胁格陵兰，但其实也对着北极圈保持高度关注。
Do you feel any threat from Russia or China?
Again, so far I've not heard any threats coming from either China or from Russia. And I haven't seen any battleships. I haven't seen any military presence from either of those countries. Again, there is something to be explored in Greenland, because we have the largest freshwater mass in the world because of the ice sheet. We have rare earth minerals, and we have a good geopolitical position. And that's the truth. So of course there is some interest. But again, so far what we've seen is that the majority of countries worldwide shows interest in Greenland and are looking for collaborating, looking for partnerships. So far I haven't seen any, let's say, thoughts, some actions from either Russia or China invading Greenland. Nothing.
Also, we know that actually the American Army, they already have Air Force base in Greenland for a long time. How do you see that Air Force base in Greenland? Do you guys get along well?
No, again, since the Second World War, when NATO really started to appear, and we saw the Pituffik air base, Thule air base up North Greenland, which is basically an American military base. Again, it's been working out well, and we haven't seen any issues. There have been collaborations, and the Danish army is doing their part to kind of protect the Greenlandic coastline. Again, so far there's been nothing, but of course now we feel the threats. Now we see the armies, the Danish army and some of the EU armies are present here in Greenland. So yeah, we see acts, we see protection, and yeah, this is the first time in Greenlandic history that we experience this.
格陵兰有大约56000名居民，他们绝大多数是因纽特原住民。对他们来说，真正的财富不是金钱，而是知识啊，是在北极圈内生存的智慧。他们对自然保持敬畏和谦卑。因纽特人欢迎外来客，当然也希望外人对他们有更多的理解。
As a Greenlander, what do you want the world knows about Greenland, or how do you want us, I mean, the whole world to see you guys?
We as Greenlanders, we are a calm people. We look for diplomatic solutions. We have a democracy, and we seek for justice. We are 56,000 people living on what's equivalent to 1/3 of the United States square meter wise. So the square meter per person is just immense. We are a people that love our nature. We are completely integrated and embedded nature with our culture. That's how we live. And there's a wonderful saying that one of my friends told me back in time. He says, the true currency in Greenland is not money, it's knowledge, because that's how you survive when you're that far north. And that really highlights who we are as a people. So my saying is, we are not for sale, but we're definitely open for exploring. So everybody from the outside world who shows an interest in Greenland, who wants to learn more about us as a people, yeah, they should contact us, because they're more than welcome to come visit us.
President Donald Trump tried to, I'm not sure if it's led by you guys or teasing you guys, that he said that Greenlanders using sliding dogs to protect Greenland. Do you have any reaction to that comment?
I know normally he lives in Florida, so he doesn't know the Arctic that well. So, or wherever he lives. So again, when you're in Greenland, when you want to go from one city to another, you have to go by plane or by boat. There's no infrastructure allowing you to drive to one city to another. That's not how it works. And when you only have Itopotomi, Kulusuk on the East Coast, it's really difficult to get from one city to another. So the easiest way of transportation is going with a dog sled. And that's what we see some of them do, because that's how you get around. It's the most efficient way. So again, that's coming back to what I mentioned about, it's about knowledge. It's about how do you actually operate in the Arctic.
尽管这个世界存在着对格陵兰的野心，但因纽特人的文化中藏着好客的基因，在极寒的环境中保持着热情的性格。不过，他们要面对的除了人类的敌意，还有自然的变化。
Could you share some Inuit culture or traditions of Greenland to us?
Yeah, of course. I would say I think one of my favorite things about Greenlandic culture is what we call Kaffemik. And this is really related to us being a calm people, with having open doors to just kind of welcoming everyone. In Kaffemik, when it's your birthday or it's a wedding or something like that, you open up for Kaffemik, and that means that basically everyone can swing by to your celebration and enjoy it with the rest of you and your family. And I would say that's also how we welcome people in Greenland. Again, we would love to show you in. We would love to show you our culture, as long as you respect us. And as long as that is happening, I'm sure you're gonna have a great time up here.
I'm curious, besides the American want to take Greenland, are there any like threats that you are feeling? For example, like climate change, or are there any changes in Greenland?
Yeah, climate change in Greenland is really felt, and I think we're probably some of the areas that we feel it first. We can see it from the different seasons. The transitional periods between winter and summer are longer, more periods with rain, which is really bad for the ice sheet. We see in periods where we're not used to seeing icebergs floating around, we see that more often, more frequently. And sometimes the breakoffs of the ice sheet are so immense that we can't even navigate the fjords with the boats because there's simply too much ice. And just to set it up in a more realistic scenario, again, we have the second largest fjord system in the world here in Nuuk. And sometimes we can't go inside the fjord because there's simply too much ice. And it's hundreds and hundreds of square kilometers just packed with ice, icebergs. It's really something different. And we can see on the glaciers on the backside of the mountains, they're shrinking in. They're just becoming smaller and smaller from each year. So yeah, we definitely feel the impact.
For me, I think that's the most important thing that we need to, work together. The whole world need to work together to help or to deal with this situation, right? Not just take Greenland as my land or something. I don't know. This is my own opinion.
Yeah, we got to protect it. I guess this is probably one of the last untouched ecosystems on Earth. And with that said, we feel climate change, but the footprint set directly by man up here is relatively small. And I think that's what makes Greenland so unique. We are so large, but there's so few people here. So again, if people in general are interested in seeing nature like never before, having it for yourself, this is the exact way to go. It's the exact right place to visit.
Do you receive more tourists recent year? I mean, after the pandemic, do more and more tourists visiting Greenland?
Yeah, after the pandemic, of course, we saw a big decline in tourists going to Greenland. But after that, especially after the beginning of 2025, with the first remarks of Trump, we saw a really big spike in interest in Greenland. And it has opened up a lot of businesses, a lot of opportunities for locals, for hotels, infrastructure being developed, new airports, critical infrastructure. So again, Greenland has been growing as a tourist destination lately, and we can really feel it. Or people, in general, people are super interested in Greenland, and I understand why.
Casper 他是新创旅游公司 Raw Arctic 的创办人，他代表了格陵兰年轻一代的创业精神，而他创业的初衷就是希望透过旅游，让全世界看见真实的格陵兰，而不仅仅是地图上的战略棋子。
Raw Arctic is a 100% Greenlandic-owned tourist company, and what we do is that we do everything from travel packages to day tours. And we actually operate all over Greenland with different business partners. So we're a relatively young company. We started 1.5 years ago, and last year we had over 27 people on the payroll. So we are a fast-scaling tourism company who has an ambition of showing Greenland as we truly are. Whether you want to go hunting or fly fishing or boat tours with whale safaris or seeing northern lights, going dog sledding, this is the exact place to reach out to.
The last question is, what is the favorite part of Greenland for you?
I'm a bit of a nerd. I really love fly fishing. So one of my favorite places I can imagine on Earth is our Camp Isuan, and it's a camp that's situated. It's approximately 3-hour boat ride south of Nuuk. There we have an all-inclusive camp where we go fly fishing with guides and we catch the beautiful Arctic char, and we do that 2 months a year, from start of July to the beginning of September. And again, those 2 months, it's the best I know.
虽然川普说和北约达成了协议，欧盟的关税危机也暂时解除了，但这不代表格陵兰的挑战已经结束了哦。美国对北极的战略野心还在，而且气候变迁对冰川的破坏也还在。Casper 很诚实的告诉我们，虽然不想被当商品卖掉，但很现实的是，没有丹麦每年几十亿的资金挹注，格陵兰的经济也很难撑下去。这就是地缘经济学的残酷啦。大国可以用关税当武器来换取协议，但小国却只能用生存智慧，在大国的夹缝中求生存啊！你觉得在美国和北约的框架协议之下，格陵兰真的安全了吗？欢迎在下方留言说说你的想法，也别忘了对我们的频道按赞、订阅和分享。今天的课程就到这里啦，我们下课喽。